Hello students, welcome to all. Today in this lecture we are going to study electrogravimetry, principle of electrogravimetry, the difference between electrogravimetry and normal gravimetric analysis, and after that we will see the principles on which electrogravimetry is based, the basic laws like Faraday's law, Ohm's law, and the units used in electrogravimetric analysis. So let's we start with our first point, introduction to electrogravimetry. In electrogravimetry, a element or metal which is to be separated, element or metal which is to be separated is deposited electrolytically upon a suitable electrode. And from the gain in weight of the electrode, the amount of the metal is determined. So in this method, the metal or element which is to be separated is deposited electrolytically upon a suitable electrode, and from the gain in weight of electrode we can determine the amount of metal present in the sample. It is a principle of electrogravimetry. Then we will see the difference between electrogravimetry and gravimetric methods. Normal gravimetric methods involve operations like precipitation, digestion, filtration and washing. But electrogravimetry do not involve such operations. In normal gravimetric methods, there are possibilities of co-precipitation, post-precipitation, etc. But in electrogravimetry, these possibilities are eliminated due to the proper control of experimental conditions. And further, the electrogravimetry is a rapid and accurate technique. This is the difference between electrogravimetry and normal gravimetric method. In electrogravimetry, there is no possibilities of post-precipitation, co-precipitation. The processes such as digestion, precipitation, filtration, washing are not involved in electrogravimetry. In electrogravimetry, the metal which is to be separated is deposited electrolytically upon a electrode, and from the gain in weight of electrode we can determine the amount of metal present in the mixture or sample. So next point is theory or principles of electrogravimetric methods. In electrogravimetric analysis, the deposition of metal on the electrode is governed by Ohm's law and Faraday's law. So we will see first Ohm's law. The statement of Ohm's law is the current I is directly proportional to the electromotive force E and inversely proportional to the resistance R. That is, I is equal to E by R. Current is directly proportional to the EMF and inversely proportional to the resistance. Faraday's laws of electrolysis. There are two laws we will see. First, the amount of substance liberated or deposited at an electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. Therefore, how much amount of metal is electrolyzed or deposited or liberated at an electrode is depends upon quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. So the statement is what? The amount of substance liberated or deposited at an electrode during electrolysis is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. So W is equal to ZIT. W means what? The amount of substance liberated or deposited at an electrode during electrolysis. Z, it is the electrochemical equivalent. I, it is the current passing through the electrolyte, and T, it is the time in second. The product of I and T, it is called as quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. So Q is equal to IT. Q is equal to IT. Quantity of electricity passed is given by Q and it is equal to I into T. Therefore, W is equal to ZIT. It is the symbolically Faraday's first law is expressed. W is equal to ZIT. The amount of substance liberated or deposited at an electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte. It is the Faraday's first law of electrolysis. Then Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Here we consider a series of electrolytic solution, and from this series of electrolytic solution, when same amount of electricity is passed, then at that time the amount of metal deposited at an electrode is directly proportional to the chemical equivalents of the substances. So statement is, when the same quantity of electricity is passed through different electrolytes. Okay, here same quantity of electricity is passed through different electrolytes, then the weight of substances liberated or deposited at the respective electrode are directly proportional to the chemical equivalent, that is equivalent weights of those substances. When same quantity of electricity is passed through a series of solutions, then the amount of substance liberated or deposited at the respective electrode are directly proportional to the chemical equivalents or equivalent weights of those substances. So here we consider one example. When the same quantity of electricity is passed in a series through solution containing copper sulfate and silver nitrate. Here we consider two solutions, copper sulfate and silver nitrate. And from these two solutions, when same quantity of electricity is passed, then at that time the weight of copper and silver deposited will be in the ratio of their chemical equivalents. Okay, how much amount of copper and silver deposited is depends upon their chemical equivalent. So here 63.57 upon 2, it is the equivalent weight of copper, and 108 upon 1, it is the equivalent weight of silver. Okay, equivalent weight can be calculated by using molecular weight. It is the molecular weight divided by charge. Molecular weight of silver divided by charge. Okay, so we get a ratio 31.785 as to 108. It is the ratio of chemical equivalents of copper and silver. Okay, so when same quantity of electricity is passed through a solution of copper sulfate and silver nitrate, then the amount of copper and silver deposited is directly proportional to their chemical equivalents, the ratio of their chemical equivalents. So it can be expressed as weight of copper deposited upon weight of silver deposited. Okay, that amount is depends upon what? Chemical equivalent, that is equivalent weight of copper upon equivalent weight of silver. And equivalent weight of copper is what? 31.785, and equivalent weight of silver is 108. Therefore that ratio express what? The amount of copper and silver deposited at their respective electrodes. It is the statement of Faraday's second law. Okay, the next point is the electrical units. In the study of electrochemistry, following electrical units are commonly used. First one is the coulomb. Coulomb, it is a unit of electricity. 1 coulomb is what? Ampere into second. Okay, therefore it is defined as the quantity of electricity passing when a current of 1 ampere flows for 1 second. Okay, when 1 ampere current flows for 1 second, it is called as coulomb. It is the quantity of electricity passing when current of 1 ampere flows for 1 second. Therefore coulomb is equal to ampere into second. The next unit is the ampere. We know that it is the unit of current. Ampere, it is a unit of current, and it measures the strength of current, and its definition is, it is defined as the current passing through an electrolyte which liberates 0.00118 gram of silver, 1118 gram of silver, or 0.0000104 gram of hydrogen. Okay, therefore the current passing through an electrolyte, or the amount of current which is required to liberate that amount of silver or that amount of hydrogen, that amount of current is called as ampere. Next unit is the ohm. Ohm, it is a unit of electrical resistance. Okay, ohm, it is a unit of electrical resistance. Then next unit is the volt. We know that volt, it is a unit of electromotive force or potential difference, and it is defined as the difference of electrical potential. Okay, the difference of electrical potential that is necessary to send a current of 1 ampere through a resistance of 1 ohm. Okay, volt means what? Difference of electrical potential that is necessary to send one current of 1 ampere through a resistance of 1 ohm. It is called as volt. Then next unit is the Faraday. It is the quantity of electricity required to liberate 1 gram equivalent of any substance from its solution. Faraday means what? It is the quantity of electricity which is required to liberate 1 gram equivalent of any substance from its solution. So 1 Faraday is equal to 96,493 coulombs. It is relationship between Faraday and Coulomb. Coulomb, it is also electricity. Faraday, it is also unit of electricity. But Faraday means what? It is the electricity, quantity of electricity required to liberate 1 gram equivalent of any substance from its solution. So 1 Faraday is equal to 96,493 Coulomb. That relation is very important for solving problems. The next unit is the electrochemical equivalent. Electrochemical equivalent, the weight of an element liberated or deposited by passing 1 coulomb of electricity is called the electrochemical equivalent of the element. Okay, electrochemical equivalent means what? The weight of an element liberated by passing 1 coulomb of electricity. Okay, when we pass 1 coulomb of electricity through the electrolytic solution, then at that time the weight of an element liberated or deposited, that weight is called as electrochemical equivalent. So electrochemical equivalent is equal to what? Chemical equivalent divided by 96,493, or chemical equivalent is equal to 96,493 multiplied by electrochemical equivalent. That relation is very important. Chemical equivalent and electrochemical equivalent both are different terms. We know that chemical equivalent means what? It is equal to the chemical equivalent. It is equal to the equivalent weight of the substance. Okay, and electrochemical equivalent means what? Chemical equivalent divided by 96,493. Okay, therefore these are the units, electrical units used in electrogravimetry. So today we will stop here. Thank you.